Konnichiwa, and welcome to day 2 of the Rocket Japanese 6-day course. It's the second day, so your first day was all about an audio lesson, so it gave you a good idea of how exactly Japanese is spoken, and hopefully it gave you better insight to the fact that Japanese is not nearly as difficult a language to learn as a lot of people make it out to be. I know from personal experience that learning Japanese is a daunting task at first, and when you look at it, you're not quite sure if you're going to understand all the hiragana or kanji and be able to make a lot of sense out of the language itself, but it's really a much easier language to learn than you may think. And today's lesson is more of a written set, so it gives you an idea of how the words are written down in the Roman Japanese, as well as they go over a little bit of kanji. So if we scroll down the page just a little bit here, I highly recommend that if you have not seen any Japanese on your computer before, that you click on this link right here and you download the font for displaying Japanese characters on your computer. Most computers have it, but not all of them, and it's incredibly helpful if you want to learn Japanese. So if we go down a little bit here, the first thing they go over is greetings and politeness in Japanese culture. This is extremely important if you're going to Japan. You don't want to accidentally disrespect somebody. And this kind of goes for people that are teachers, your boss, elders, people of power. And you want to be polite to people. The Japanese culture is a very polite one, and you always greet people in a very polite manner, and then you move on. If you're new to Japanese, I highly recommend you take some time and learn a lot about the culture. It's a very interesting and very new and different culture for most people in Western society. So I would take that time to learn that, and they teach you a lot about it right here, as well as in the full Rocket Japanese course. So if we move down a little bit further, there's an illustrated lesson for you, and this is pretty simple stuff. It's just basic greetings, and you can see that they take a lot of time to teach you and show you what the lessons are like and what exactly you can expect from the main course itself. As well, we go down into using things like the names, the add-on name san. If you said someone's last name, it's kind of like a sign of respect. Yoshi-san, you would say something like that. And so they explain the importance of things like that. As well as we go down, let's see a little further, is the Japanese writing system. Now, there's three, maybe 4 versions of Japanese that are written. They have the kanji characters, which are old Chinese characters that were brought over from China. Hiragana and katakana are both 2 other ones that were invented by the Japanese and modified to fit the Japanese language better. So it may sound a little daunting, but it's not as bad as it looks, and they really take some time to explain how the Japanese written system works. And as well, there's also the Roman Japanese, which is the English version. So if we go down a little bit more, they give you an example of kanji, how it's done, hiragana, and how that's written, and what some of the symbols mean, and how to represent the sound in the symbol. If we go down just a little bit more, here is Romanji, which is kind of like the English set, like I talked about before. So right here is an example of all 3, hiragana, katakana, and kanji, all mixed in together in one form. And something else that's pretty important to recognize, and I'll tell you this now, but you'll learn a lot more about it in the lessons itself, is that Japanese is written from right to left and top to bottom. So it's important to understand when you're trying to read Japanese that you're reading it in the correct direction. Otherwise, you might not understand what they're saying. And the top to bottom portion of how things are written is the formal sense. Personal letters, magazines, that kind of stuff, usually written vertically. Textbooks, some other types of casual personal letters, business correspondence are usually written in a horizontally set up from left to right, top to bottom. It's just the two differences that they have in the language itself. So if we scroll down just a little bit further, and that's it for the lesson for today. This is day 2, so it may seem a little daunting when you look at how much content there is there, but it's a lot of solid stuff that's going to really give you a good base for starting to learn Japanese. Not a complete one, but a very good one. So that's it for day 2 of the Rocket Japanese lesson. Please take some time and click on the link in the right to go to the Rocket Japanese course and just sign up for the 6-day lesson. It's totally worth it. And if you're really ready to, take things seriously, I really would suggest buying the Rocket Japanese course. So, shamatane, and I'll talk to you later.